The case method is deeply rooted in the CharterQuest mission. So what is a case study all about? We put you in a position to learn how to apply the various tools and techniques and principles and rules that you have actually studied at varsity or at college as part of your curriculum. We actually go out there to research real-life African businesses where decision makers are faced with enormous challenges that set the context for significant changes. Some of these companies would typically be exposed to strategic risks, which would commonly be called threats. Some of them will be exposed to opportunities that need to be exploited to advance the strategic ends of the business. Some of them would be exposed to significant weaknesses. Now, so what we are seeking to do here is to place you at the center of what a typical chief financial officer or a business leader would be faced with in terms of helping the business advance its strategic ends. So once you receive this case study, it's a 25-page case study. You need to spend the first time to go through the case study, maybe as an individual or as part of a team. There is a first section which presents some background information about the business, and there's a second section which presents the main issues that are before you in terms of what you have to be working on. Then you would have to do a second reading, perhaps even a third reading. Now, what are you aiming to achieve during this second and third reading? You want to do a situational analysis of the business. What is a situational analysis? You want to get an understanding of the strategic context of the business as it is right now. That would entail you spending some time trying to identify the mission of the business, the values of the business, the vision, its strategic objectives, those long-term goals that management and the board have set in terms of what they intend to deliver to their key stakeholders. You also need to spend some time looking at the business from the outside point of view. You probably use tools like pastel analysis, Porter's 5 forces, Porter's diamond, product life cycle analysis. All these are analytical tools that can help you scan the external environment of the business so as to identify the opportunities, the threats, and the key stakeholders that may have a bearing in terms of what this business is trying to achieve going forward. But you also need to spend some time looking at the business from inside. You could use tools like the value chain, the resource audit, what is commonly called the 9 M's. The goal is to help you understand the strengths and weaknesses of the business. Now, keep in mind, it is important that you understand other things like what is the core competence of the business, what are its critical success factors, both for the business as well as what is taken for granted in the industry. What is the culture of the business like? What is the risk appetite, the capacity of the organization to bear risks? Any information about the structure of the company, the international position of the company, the national position of the company. Now, this is a real life, or I would call it a hypothetical real life business, which is presented with a range of issues, and that is basically what you want to go through and put together, and the end goal of your analysis is to come up with a SWOT analysis. Now, we would expect that a detailed SWOT analysis becomes an integral part of your ultimate report.